Under surveillance this morning, CDK telling car dealerships they are likely to be without software services for several more days. This comes after 2 cyber attacks in the company, which serves almost 15,000 dealerships. Bloomberg's Craig Trudell joins us now. Craig, what is this? Basically, people using pens and paper to try to sell vehicles that are entirely registered on internet-based systems?
Yeah, CDK is not necessarily a household name, but if you're in the car industry, and particularly if you're a dealership or close to dealers, they're a huge player in the space of providing what's called dealership management systems. And, that's, sort of a way of referring to basically all of the back-end, systems that you need to line up credit checks or insurance for customers or track down, replacement parts. Basically everything a dealer needs to run their day-to-day business is run through these dealer management systems. And there's only a handful of players. And so for one of them to go down, it's hugely disruptive to the car industry. And we've just, heard reports from across the country that this has really sort of led to this standstill. And, as you've alluded to, kind of a return to the Stone Ages of, having to do business with pen and paper.
This raises also this issue of cybersecurity, especially given some of the other hacks we've seen with other types of providers at a time when cars are increasingly a national security risk. At least that's the word from this administration. How protective are some of not just systems to manage selling cars, but also the systems within cars that really manage and frankly operate most of the vehicles that we drive at this point?
I mean, it's a great question, and it's kind of ironic because CDK has kind of billed itself to dealers as, a provider of software that helps them with cybersecurity and protecting their customers' information. And so, this is a case of a company that, this was kind of supposed to be their role, was to be a place for, dealers to put customers' data and information and, trust that it was going to be kept safely. And so, we don't know a whole lot at this point about the extent to which customer data has been compromised, but we do know that the National Automobile Dealers Association is absolutely pressing the company on this, and the extent to which their members are affected, and dealers themselves are telling us that this is a concern. We had one dealer tell us in a story that just moved onto the terminal, allude to the idea that he estimated probably 50,000 customers have their data stored in CDK as a result of the years of business they've been doing with this company.
Craig, do we know who was behind this cyber attack, and also how long these car dealerships are going to be dealing with this, going back to the Stone Age of pen and paper?
Yeah, we don't have a lot of information at this moment about who is behind this, but what we do know is that CDK, just as of last night, notified its customers that it did expect this to continue for several days. And so, this first brought down their systems on Wednesday, which was really an inopportune moment because the Juneteenth holiday would have otherwise been a really busy day for car dealers. A lot of people are off and, have a bit of time to go through the rigmarole of maybe buying a new car or getting their car serviced. So, that was disruptive to, Wednesday. We're now going into a weekend, for end of month and end of quarter push. So this is not a good time for dealers to be without the system that they need to run their business.
Craig, just to take a step back, and Lisa alluded to this too, we're at a time now where cars are more complex than ever. They've got beeps, they've got boops, they've got screens, they've got cameras. They're very confusing. So in this moment in time, how important has the dealer become? How important has it become if you have a car and you run it on the road, that's great, but you can't just go to any old shop to get it fixed? Has the relationship fundamentally altered?
I think it is the case that people think about GM or Ford having customers' information, and that's not necessarily the case. I think the manufacturers have absolutely wanted to get more in on that sort of pipeline of very valuable data, but they work with franchise car dealers who are actually the sort of front-facing, closer to the customer companies, and so it absolutely is the case that these these cars have more of their customers' information in them. Some of that information is increasingly getting to the manufacturers themselves, but a lot of that intel on people who are buying new vehicles is ending up with dealers and companies like CDK that we don't necessarily talk a lot about. But I do think that this series of hacks is only going to sort of spotlight these handful of companies that are left in providing these services.